There we go. Hello, everyone. To people just joining, to people who have been waiting, and to everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this. Hello, welcome back to another stream, and welcome back to Game Dev. Now, hold on. I need to find some good trying to find. I wonder if. Actually, I'm not sure what music I'd use today. Hold on. I don't know. I'm having trouble picking. That's the problem because I want a good vibe. I want a good vibe for today. Okay. Hey, Day. Okay, this is taking a few moments for this video. Why is it taking so long for this one to load? I just want a 4-hour video, like a 4-hour thing to use for background music. Ah! I swear to God, what's going on? Okay, never mind. None of them are just, loading. Brilliant. I'll go for PS2 music instead. Not the same era, but, you know... 500 plus... Jesus Christ! I mean, good on you. I don't know how you've managed that, but Jesus. Anyway, I know it's like an era mismatch with PS2, like, relaxed, like, chill PS2 music, but you know what? Oh well. Anyway, so... Give me a moment. So, last we left off, rather than actually make too much meaningful progress, I spent the entirety of last week's game dev stream kind of concentrating on a visual thing that I really wanted my dialogue stuff to have. Like, and you know, have it be similar to, you know, like, I wanted to make the presentation of it look nice. I have had no job in for a bit. My main boss is taking a break as they don't get paid too much at their job. So no, right. Yeah, so... all the time can be spent on One Piece, yeah. Anywho, that thing in particular was... for when the player talks to the NPC... or looks or interacts with like a sign with stuff on it and whatnot. I wanted the camera to shift perspective to sort of like give a view of both the player and the NPC while they're talking to them like in dialogue, and I was struggling with it because I was attempting like different methods of like switching between like or changing the position of the main camera to like different camera booms and all that jazz. And it just wasn't working, even though it looked like it should have been working. However, thing that I remembered from when I was in university, and I actually did as part of, like, one of my assignments, was, a thing that I did for changing to an external camera. And then, of course, like, switching from that external camera back to the camera that's, like, attached to the player character. So, the thing I thought of was, well, that's all good and all, but what if I wanted this camera to be a part of the, or something that follows the player around, like, with movement and whatnot, and then we switch to it when we need to. And that is entirely possible, and I managed to get it done. So I'll give it a demonstration first, because I'm pretty happy that I actually got it to work eventually. I did it last night. I just felt the urge to sort of get it done. So we go to the NPC, we talk to them. Look at the camera now. Rather than, you know, it being the default one that's behind the player, we have this shift in perspective, which I am bloody happy about. And then once we finish dialogue, it will switch back to the normal player camera that's sort of like focused behind, that's focused behind the player. The thing that I may change about that later is have it so that it doesn't, you know, just switch back to where the camera was, and that, you know, it actually, like, has the camera repositioned. Oh yeah, no, I saw that day. But that requires possibly trying to adjust the spring arm, and I feel like that would take a fair bit more, so I'm going to leave that for now. Another thing that I would want to do is, like, have it so that when the player interacts with a thing, just so it's possible to see both the things clearly, that I have the player move to, like, a little spot that's just in front of the thing that they're interacting with. So it gives you, like, a clear view of both of them, because otherwise you're just going to keep seeing the player all smushed up against the NPC or the sign or whatever that they're looking at or reading and so on. So, you know, it's little considerations. So, now that this is properly working, and this little bit is kind of there, at the moment I don't have an actual model for a sign at the moment, because, well... Oh, whoops. However, I believe that I believe that I am fairly confident in just saying, well, I can throw these in the test level environment and sort of, you know, improve the information. However, as you may remember, with how this dialogue system works, if we go into the dialogue system, it requires behavior trees, which, you know, normally they're used to Hello, Monsieur Tails. Hello, Heatington. But yeah, no, you know, these things that are normally used to control, like, NPC or enemy AI behavior, is the basis for how this, dialogue system works. And for each, like, little tutorial, did I see the group chat? Oh my word. No, actually, it's actually a good thing despite what the skull implies. Damn. I don't think I have Peepo Giggle. I need to sort that out. I'll do that. I'll do that. Oh, there we go. Oh wait, no, I do. I spelt it wrong, don't worry. Okay. But wow, imagine, for a split second, I had the same number of viewers as Germa. Crazy stuff. But yeah, no, so I have to use these things to sort of, like, write what dialogue I want the signs to sort of read out. And I need to make, like, I started a few of them last night, before I went to bed. You actually have more on my UI now, really? That doesn't seem, though Germa has moved, that doesn't seem right! So that's for the... Yeah, that was for the double air dash. I've been reading the Disney matchmaking on Dustloop, and the family has some funny jokes next to their name. I feel like I can kind of guess what Kai has for his. But shoot. So whereas I must be blind as. Oh wait, this is blueprints. I'm maps. Test level. Unica, we have how to talk to your teenager about her taste in women. Okay. Anyways, I'm popping you out, my friend. I may not talk much because I am not starving. I will occasionally, though. Sin is Fia Lachankla. Oh. Soul is father-daughter bonding. Makes sense. I am going to be surprised if test is fish fear me, women want me. So we got the floor, the wall sliding, and then I'll put a thing there that says, right, combine all you've learned, make it to the end. Jack is fear the goobers. Oh, Jacko. Right. So, for the most part, like, some of this will be, you know, writing the stuff in the behavior tree and then, you know, plonking things down on the test level. BT underscore tutorial sign. And Kai is the second queen of Illyria. Well, to be fair, that's not far off from what I assumed Kai's was going to be. I thought Kai's was going to be that one fucking... But my fave got to be the one for Nago where it states. But the thing I thought that it was going to say for Kai's one was is the fucking picture of, like, Dizzy with their eyes glazed over pointing at the screen, and it says keep breeding that twink. I thought it was going to be that. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear is gone, there will be nothing. Only I will... Jesus Christ! Right. For the Nago matchup, we must not forget. And right below his pot that just says, we only gain wisdom through suffering, and tonight I intend to make you very wise. What one do I like the most? I think Unica's is great. Unica's is funny. Hmm. Kai versus Soul, it says Kai and Soul have similar game plans and toolkits, but Soul has a much better risk to reward ratio. Exit. So dialogue widget. There we go. So tutorial sign 5. That one's done. And then we go up here. And then we'll have the sign here for the wall jumps. That's not funny. That's real info to know. I'm just surprised you're not throwing more of the quips at me. So, BT... 6. But the one thing I do have to figure out with this dialogue system is, if I want certain things to trigger during dialogue, would I have to modify things, I'd have to probably modify things just to, you know, make sure that it can work. Don't tell Dizzy about this. Oh god. Oh, whoops. And this one is great. Kaya versus Kaya's white bread versus vanilla ice cream. Oh my god. Hold on a moment. Unica vs. Sin is just, I didn't hit you that hard. Just don't tell Mum. Oh, this is... Devil Summoner 2. Ah! That's why it sounded very familiar. I do like the Dust Loop writers, they're great. Soul versus Unica is like grandfather, like granddaughter. Which makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Arbor versus Asuka, the new Potemkin versus Chip. I'd assume so. Exit. Right, so that's tutorial sign 6. AI, BT. Hello. There we go. BT to top. 7. Tutorial sign 7. 7. We're on number 7. Wow. I feel like I'd need the one up here. Not that AI! I feel like I need the one up here. The one down here. And then last one inside the goal area. So this, so we have 9 tutorial signs in total. So sequence. Nago vs. Arbor is jealousy is the death of a master swordsman. Move these over, just so I have a bit more room to work with. His spin beats your spin. Time to get creative. I'm assuming you're talking about Anji. Thought so. Gold star, thank you! Wow! Right. So behavior tree, BT, tutorial sign, tutorial line, tutorial sign underscore 8. I need a sequence. Whoops. Oh, yeah, rule of thumb for working with the behavior trees, the root needs to at least start with either a selector, sequence, or simple parallel. In order for it to actually, you know, connect to anything. So Okay, right, good luck. And then exit. Oh, one of them was Persona 4's fucking the original Persona 4's opening. Whoops. Huh. I guess that counts. I wonder if there's any tech. Oh, but that's from original Yakuza. That's like the original PS2 Yakuza. We love Katamari. Simple 2000 series, Fantavision. Oh. What the fuck is Xenosaga Freaks? I'm scared. What is this cat thing? Oh, I love that song. Fuck you, P4, P4. Let me think. Oh yeah, no, I remember now. My brain paused a moment. What the fuck is... What the fuck is... Xenosaga Freaks is a video game that it was only released in Japan. It's a collection of Xenokomi, a visual novel with a side story that plays during Xenosaga Episode 1, Xenopatan, a puzzle game somewhat similar to Scrabble, the encyclopedia with entries from Xenosaga Episode 1, and a demo from Xenosaga Episode 2. Monolith Soft, what were you doing? Why the hell did they do that? I don't know. I don't know why Monolith did this back in the day. I can't explain. I'm not an expert. Right, and now we need one more sign. They needed a paycheck, I guess. I mean, hey, game development is hard. Sometimes you gotta promote yourself in the weirdest ways. Elder Femme versus Fresh Out of the Egg. Dizzy versus... Oh, right. Right, so we get another one. This is the last sign. This is the last sign. Now, at the very least, getting these little signs done and plonking them about the test level, you know, finally solves the problem of, yeah, we're not explaining things that well. Because that was one of the things that I knew was a bit of an issue. So, I'm going to make sure I have an exit and dialogue widget. Hey, I'm still... Hello! Hi! And yeah, no, that's okay. Mother-daughter bonding time. What does this mean? Happy versus Dizzy. You're not my real dad. You're not my dad. Was the only thing I could think of at a time like this. Gosh. Pleased to say we said "You're not my dad" out loud at the same. Thank you, Heater. Thank you. Oh, that's brilliant. They share a brain cell. Noted. What am I doing? Why is it not tabbed in? Why was I tabbed out? That was weird. Also, chat. Oh, new thing happening day. Oh, BB tag is only. Oh. Holy shit, this game is so ass. I love it. There we go. Right. Now I have all the tutorial signs prepped. It probably helps that I did a few of them already last night. So, okay, at the moment, if I look at the NPCs, temp NPC just inherits from the character class. The UI ass, the sprite's ass, and moveset's ass. This game is great. So I technically can make this. Oh, you got Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Dragon got that recently as well. I haven't played. I don't play it too much, but I play it every now and then. I do. I played it with Dragon recently. Had a fairly decent time with it though. Blueprint. I'm gonna make it as an actor because I'm pretty sure I can do the same here. So, BP. You're Naoto and Junpei. Oh, right. I feel like I'd say I'm fairly decent as Chie. I'm gonna make the cube the mesh for the time being until I can actually make a sign in Blender, which probably wouldn't take too long, but right, I'm gonna make sure that this is, you know, normal size. And then the interface that I need to inherit from, if I go into class defaults, it's the... No, it's class settings, not class defaults. DP interact interface. Wait. Oh, wait, actually, I think I'm wrong. Class settings. Never mind, I'm wrong. It needs the... It's the bloody... Class settings. No, I don't want to transfer the function to be part of the blueprint. Add BP dialog component. BB dialog system. WVP dialogue, and then for each instance that I drag in, that's where I do the thingamajig. So I should do a 5 degrees so it looks oh wait, no, that was wrong. That's the snap sizes for movement. This is the one for rotations. The problem is that I need to also have a thing where, hold on, this is a thing that I don't have to do today, but I can do at some point. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna open up Clip Studio. Give me a moment, chat. Right. Great. So the thing that I want to show up, is when the player sort of like, so at the moment, so say for example that this is our sign, okay? If the player moves towards it, or gets like up right next to it, there's no like prompt to interact with it or anything, if that makes sense. So the thing that I want to do is I want to have it so that it definitely would have to be like a thing handled on the object side rather than the player, because if it was on the player side constantly checking, then that would not be very performant. It would actively like tank the frame rate, which is, you know, not what we want at all. So we would want it to be a case of on whatever object is, you know, our little dialogue thing. So if it's like an NPC or a sign or anything like that, we want it to be that, oh yeah, it's an on overlap begin. So on begin overlap. So we throw a sign, we have like the sphere checking for whether or not the player is in range, and if the player is in range of that sphere, then above the sign in world UI we say press, so for example Q to interact. And that's basically what I want to have happen. And if I can find, I'm hoping I can find it. Damn it, never mind. Right. I couldn't find anything, so I was trying to find a potentially a screenshot from like Spyro 3 or any of the Spyro games to actually demonstrate this. I know the easy solution is that I could just fire up the emulator and give a demonstration that way, and I guess I could. Hold on. Let me see if it'll work. Station. Because I could fire up the emulator and do it that way. So because I, at the very least, want to give a bit of a basis as to what I'm talking about. So where is... Right, so go back into the main window. Where is... I'm blind, so turn it off for the time being. To be fair, I could load this state from... Okay, apparently it's just... Wait. Sorry, this is taking a moment. I am having to essentially, in real time for this emulator, remap my controller mapping. There we go. Hold on, wait a moment. I can use this one. I'm not using it for Clover Bit at the moment. Right, there we go, that works. And it's just gone back to, never mind. I'm gonna have to do it like this. I'm hoping I can find... like... Can I find Zoe? Never mind, that doesn't work. I don't have the sound on at the moment because I don't need it on. Last time I opened this was for, like, me demonstrating a thing back in, I think in July? So it's kind of funny. Where are you? I'm pretty sure... I don't think Hunter is here anymore. I don't even know if there's any NPCs that I can talk to. Yeah, no. Oh wait, no. I have the perfect place. 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 Literally the start of this level that I just returned from. And I know that this is like a bit... I also realize I accidentally turned the Kingdom Hearts death counter back on. Whoops. But yeah, this little, like, prompt here is something that I'm missing. It doesn't, like, turn to face the camera, it's just kind of there in the world. But it can work. I think it could work very well. But yeah, no. I'm done. I'm done with my little demonstration. Oh, this is We Love Katamari Baby. What? But yeah, no. That's essentially what I want to have happen. Hold on, my brain just timed out. But yeah, no. I also got sorry, Dave. I was so zoned in on like trying to explain things. I also got my uncle to show me how to work a metalwork. Ooh. Oh yeah, because you talked about this last week. Right. Okay. So for the time being, I'm just gonna have to plonk the signs down and not have a prompt for it. But as I said, I can definitely do things from like the NPC side to actually reveal a thing. You know, when the player gets near it. So dialogue component. First one will take tutorial sign 1. And then to be fair, I could just copy. Yep. Never mind. I'm just gonna do it this way. Why does it never... To be fair, it does it based on its root component rather than, you know, anything that makes logical sense. Tutorial sign 2. And then... Wait, what happened? Why is there... Hold on. There was one of them with, like, 2 cubes attached to it. Why? That's so odd. So, tutorial sign 3. Drag it over. That's not where I meant for it to go. I was trying to move the actual thing, not... to be fair, it keeps grabbing, like, an element rather than the whole object itself, and I think that's my problem. I keep letting that happen. I'm wrestling with Unreal being a bit of a silly today. Right. This thing gets tutorial sign 4. This thing gets... or this thing that I'm going to make will get tutorial sign 5. Ugh, gosh. Right. Did I give it? I did not. Sign 5. Then... throw that there. We get sign 6. And the ads start in a few minutes. To be fair, it's a bit slightly... oh. It might be slightly off in terms of timing because I did have to quickly, like, stop the stream and restart the stream when I realized, oh shit, I forgot to change, like, my category and title for the stream. Oops. So, so, right, there we go. I did get the thing, and then... to be fair, if I had to describe something that I do enjoy about when I do get around to working on this, either like on stream or, you know, in my own spare time, it's when I actually manage to get a thing done and, you know, figure out how to do a thing. Like, there was the feeling that I got last night as I actually managed to get my camera stuff working for the dialogue camera. Like, that sense of accomplishment. It's a sense of accomplishment I like. Anyway, the ads are starting. We'll be back in a few short minutes, so hang on tight and we'll be back soon. And we're back! Hello! Okay, I literally had a cube suspended in the air, just before the ad break. There we go. Because this happened to be one of the things where I put it at a weird fucking angle. So this gets sign 8. And I think I'm just going to grab sign 7, because this is, like, in terms of height, close to where it needs to be for the last sign. And then I'm gonna drag it. Oh yeah, I forget that it actually... I need to change that, like, texture of that floor to make it look like, oh yeah, this is also a breakable surface. And then we just attach this. Right, that's all the signs plonked down. Where are the materials? How do I look? What world grid material? That's the one. There we go. That one's back to normal now. Okay, right. So play from the start. Hey, so I do need to probably revisit some of like the decisions I made for this test level in terms of how I was actually implementing it, because I feel like having this be the way that you sort of like get up is kind of, it's a bit cramped. Oh. And there's another issue. There is the possibility that that camera ends up outside the wall. So So, you know, it's good. We're finding stuff as we're doing things. I think my Q key is now like acting up as well, which is not good. Oh, wait. I forgot to add the exit to that. Uh-oh. Or I forgot to set the properties for that exit. Tutorial dialogue trees, 7. Yeah, I forgot. Whoops. I did not set it to the dialogue widget. I set it to the self. It was still self. It was still set to self. Okay, whoops. I don't remember this part being so unforgiving. Something that I'll need to revisit. Something that I'll definitely need to revisit. But those are all the signs thrown into the test stage. So, we've now kind of, sort of... Hold on. There we go. Right, so now we've sorted out the issue of, like, conveying our information. Aside from, you know, not being able to, at the moment, display, like, a prompt to interact with, like, an NPC or a sign. We don't have that at the moment, but this is, you know, good steps, good steps. We're slowly improving the learning experience for the player, which is arguably one of the most important things to do when you're trying to get your player introduced to the game. Maybe. So, this is good. This is good. Now, there is something... Right, so there are some things that I need to address. So... If I go back to the... It's still in the third person map. Yeah, there we go. Right. So, one thing that I need to address. So, at the moment, in terms of the wall jump, it is very easy for the player to just, you know, keep chaining wall jumps and climb up a wall, which is not what I'd want. If I... Hold on. I'm gonna, like, check on my Switch too, because, just to make it as a point of reference, where is this game? Where is this brilliant game? Where are you? I'm blind. There it is. Right, I was trying to find Celeste. Because, you know, good example to look at as, like, how I should be doing my wall jumps. Because at the moment, being able to just scale a wall with wall jumps is, like, a singular wall with a wall jump. You know, continuously jumping from and back to the same wall. Not what I want. Not what I want. So I just need to double check a thing quickly. Give me a few moments, chat. Okay, right. So I was right in my assumption. For when wall jumps happen, I am back. I have done the washing up. Hello, back. I am forward. Anyway, in terms of the wall, I should have. Hold on. I should have kept the game open on my Switch so I could keep sort of hopping back and forth between that and me talking about this, so I could actually illustrate my points properly. You know, a thing that's kind of important, because otherwise I'm going to sound like I'm talking absolute crap. You know, there's a thing I want to avoid. I don't want to sound like I'm talking absolute crap, because I'm not talking absolute crap. Yeah, I got you with the high backline forward. My dad jokes. The classic. I always love the classic from Astive movie where it's Dad, I'm hungry. Hi, hungry. I'm Dad. Why did you name me this way? But yeah, no. Looking at Celeste and how it handles wall jumps, it seems to essentially increase the distance Madeline jumps away from a wall during a wall jump if you're actively holding like the button in, like actively moving into the wall as you wall jump. I realize I'm actually gonna have to hold on a moment. I'm actually gonna have to like quickly right. This isn't like, this is a pain in my ass, but this is like more of a case of, I didn't think I'd have to do this, but I'm gonna have to do this. Where is? At the very least, I don't have to set the thing. Ah, there we go. Right, I'm gonna quickly demonstrate this with Celeste, okay? So I'm not playing my best because I'm just doing this as a demonstration. If I just, like, I'm not holding, like, left towards this wall at the moment. If I just jump away from the wall just like that, it will just, it'll go a very short distance. But if I actively, like, wall slide, then the distance is basically just, increased. And because of that, it makes it difficult to sort of, like, or it makes it impossible to essentially scale up a single wall by just doing a wall jump off of that wall. So that was the point I wanted to illustrate. Okay? Right. So now I've gotten that out of the way. That's kind of an adjustment I want to try and make. Either increase how much, like, distance is, hold on, brain. Either increase, like, just in general, the amount of distance that the player travels during a wall jump, or I adjust things in a way that makes it feel, like, it essentially produces those variable results, where if you're not holding a button, you're just kind of like, then you're not gonna, actually properly wall slide. You're just gonna just kick off the wall just ever so slightly. It's a small distance. But if you are holding like a direction that's moving into the wall, then you are just going to get that greater distance doing a wall jump after a wall slide. But at the cost of, you're traveling further, but you're not going to be able to actually just climb up that single wall just using continuous wall jumps. That's what I'm trying to do. So I feel like there are some things I'd have to adjust in the code to definitely allow for this. So we're making some tweaks. Now I'm trying to think. There was something else I swear I had in mind, but I have completely lost it. I cannot remember the other thing that I was thinking of. It is just gone out of my mind. Is taking a holiday. But yes, that is basically what I want to do. Um, sorry. TP player character. We're going back into the player character class. Just give it a moment. um, Code open. Okay, so I have to think. How would I get this to work? That's the big question that has to be asked. How am I going to get this to work? Oh gosh. So at the moment, if I look at where wall jumping actually happens, so trace unit direction, reflect wall force. Make rot from X, set to rotation. Okay, so refreshing my memory. Because I don't think reflected wall force is ever used. You know, reflected wall force is never used, so I don't need this here, because that was kind of confusing me. It's like, is this ever used? It's been a while since I touched this part of the code, so but yeah, no, this isn't that one line wasn't needed because it was actually just redundant. So You kind of find that when you go back and look at, you know, code that you haven't touched for a while. If there's, like, lines that actually just don't do anything, you can just cut them. You can just get rid of them, because what's going to change if you get rid of that one line of code that's literally not having any impact on how things work at all? Just nothing will happen. And same with this line here. That so many of like the little commented out lines are just, you know, this is a remnant of when I was attempting a different approach rather than just there we go. Right. Except for, you know, comments that actually describe what's going on. So the main thing here, forward wall force. That is, at the moment, the only variable that we have that is basically, oh yeah, so you're moving this distance away from the wall when you wall jump. Now, I basically want to have two variables like this instead of just the one. So, where is forward? Yep, forward wall force. So, I'm blind. So, float. Or do I want... Oh, wait. Just a moment, sorry. Right. So, I just realized, rather than having two separate values, I could just have the initial value, and then I could have a multiplier. So, sliding wall jump modifier. So, first things first, we have that. We have these two things now. So, the thing that I'm trying to figure out is how are we going to check for that? Because here's the thing, like, yeah, everything's okay. So at the moment, so let's factor in like things between 2D and 3D. So if I was just, you know, doing this in 2D, this would be a fairly simple thing because it'd be like, oh yeah, it would just like moving like left or right, then we change like, say, wait, hold on, my brain's paused. I got my words muddled up. Hold on. So if we were like wall sliding, say in this case 2D, and we were moving towards the wall, then we could easily just say, oh yeah, if you're just able to, if you're in the wall sliding state, so if state is wall sliding and moving forward, and I'm actually trying to do this in pseudocode. Then we have and the inverse of the direction. And then else it would just be times the inverse of the direction. However, because we're working in 3D, like, we have to factor in, you know, different angles and the different, like, inputs that could be, like, be pressed. So, let me think. But since we're working in 3D, it's a bit difficult to sort of factor in. Like, if we were just, you know, moving forward towards this wall, then it would just be a case of, oh, if, like, W pressed, then we just, you know, increase the multiplier. But because, you know, we could have the camera at, like, not, you know, facing here, we could have it facing at this angle, but the player is still moving towards that same direction, but that direction's only achieved through, like, pressing more than one movement key or, like, angling the joystick. It's actually a bit of an interesting conundrum. Just sort of there, trying to think of a solution for. Conundrums are being experienced, honestly. Um, and at the moment, some of what I'm writing in Clip Studio is just kind of looking like the ramblings of an insane man who got let out of the asylum too early. So, to be fair, it could just be a case of I have a thing that sort of... Oh, come on. I keep thinking, like, it could be something to do with the input itself. Hold on. Let me think. Let me think. Here's the thing. I have something that's just like... It's just about in my mind. It's trying to connect that last little bit. And that's just... that's mildly frustrating. God! Ah! That's the annoying thing. It's just... Right, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to bite and see... Just say, yeah, I'm gonna... Right, so, if... Actually, let's... I didn't make any fundamental changes to the, like, actual functionality of things yet. All I did was remove redundant lines, so this is not going to cause any problems, but I am going to just run a quick... Basically an inventory of, what things I have attached to the player. Because there's something I have in mind. There's something I definitely have in mind now. But, however, I need to make sure that I'm not, being mildly unnecessary with some of the things that I'm trying to think of. Okay, back here. So, I don't think I have the player open at the moment. No, I don't. I just have the blueprints and the behavior tree open. So, if I go back, blueprints, player, my funny little rat player. So we've got the ground checkpoint, which is a scene component. We have the projectile throw point, which is a scene component as well. Got the interact overlap sphere, which player charge overlap box. I cannot see where it is. The camera boom. To be fair, what's one more little like overlap thing? To be fair, because overlap events are helpful, and it means that I'm not having to constantly check things. But gosh. So add the thing. Have it only become active if the player is pressing, like, if the player is moving at all. So, Right, this may require some doing. Okay. Right, let's give it a go. And if it doesn't work, then I can always just remove it and then look into doing it another way, or just forget about making these tweaks. But it's something with how it feels. It feels like it could be a good way of making it feel a bit better for wall jumping, but at the same time, all right, there we go. Motion stretch, camera, wall jump. Right, I'll throw it here. So, new property, anywhere. Blueprint. Oh, read only. To be fair, I could have just copied this U properties like thing, but I don't know why I didn't. I could have just avoided typing this out. Give me a moment. It's one of those cases where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna say a thing, where it's like, oh, I could have done this, but then I realized, wait, no, actually, why am I not doing this? So, probably gonna have this be a U-box component. I don't know if this is... Yep, U-box component. That's already been forward declared. So U-box component pointer. I don't know what to define for its name. U-box component. More slide direction. Checkbox. Checkox. Right. Of course, where is the overlap? So U function. I'm just going to take the interact sphere method, copy that function signature, bring it here. It's going to throw a hissy fit because it already exists. More wall slide direction overlap, and then this will be wall slide direction and overlap. Which, now that I think about it, doesn't make too much sense. I can think of a better name. I just need to add direction box. And already that feels like it makes a little bit more sense. You know, as far as I'm aware, or as far as I'm concerned, this feels like it should work in terms of method names. But I feel like if it does end up tripping me up, then I will need to sort of revise those names. So what I need to have happen here is right. And I know there's like 10 minutes until like the next ad break, but I need to quickly go to the loo. I'll be right back in a few moments. Okay. Whew. There we go. Much better. Anyway, right, so set cancel wall slide to false. So at the moment, if we go into wall slide. Oh. So B wall sliding is true. Hmm. Right, okay. Right. Brain. Can jump. Check wall jump. B wall sliding. Wall slide right, wall slide, wall slide. So at the moment, we have B wall sliding. I keep missing it because I had it. Yep, there we go. Right, so at the moment, we have B wall sliding. So I want there to be a boolean called B can wall slide. And now I only want it to actually do a thing if, you know, I only want it to actually wall slide if that boolean is true. Right. So let's see. So on so in begin play, need to set those callbacks. But I do need to create as a default sub object first. Wall slide direction checkbox. E-collision channel. No, e-collision enabled. Whoops. Slide direction checkbox. Set collision response to all channels. ECR underscore ignore. Channel ECR underscore ECC underscore world. Would it be world static or world dynamic? World static, I believe. And then ECR underscore overlap. And then I also need to add the methods to it. So find call bind callback to delegate wall slide direction check. So wall slide direction checkbox on component begin begin overlap dot add dynamic this wall slide direction box overlap, and then we need to add the end overlap. Wall slide direction checkbox on component end overlap dot add dynamic this. Right, got those set up now. And to be honest, simply put, B can wall slide equals true. Oh, not minus. I pressed the wrong key. Equals true. And then the ads start in a few minutes. Lort. And then set can wall slide to false. B can wall slide was false. And then also there is a point where is player move? That's not it. Move. One I changed. Oh, whoops. Where is the player controller? So the player controller handle forward input. Yep. Okay, oh yeah, because I have movement handled in the player controller. That's why. Okay, okay. Right, this. Do I have a thing for stopping the player move? I can't remember. So move action. I don't. Okay, I'm gonna work on this during the ad break. I'll see you back here in a few moments. Ah! Right, I think I know what to do. I know what to do. Play interfaces. Player character interface.h. Yep. U function. Print callable. Void. Enable. Oh. Right. And then where are my interface methods? They're all here. Player enable something. Oh wait, actually. B should enable. And then bool enable. Right. B should enable. Then oh, I realized I was not in the code view. Right. Anyway, player enable slide. Query only. I think it's query only. What's my stance on AI in game dev? Oh. Query and physics. Yeah. Welcome back. Anyway, my stance on AI in game development. I don't like it. That may be me being like very set in my ways or old fashioned and whatnot, but I don't like it. E collision enabled. No collision. So if it should be enabled. See, it depends. It depends. But for the most part, just I don't like it. Like to help provide like assistance for like making decisions, yes, but not entirely replacing developers. Oh, thank you for getting rid of that bot, by the way, Heater. Let me think. So set collision enable, da 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 da, 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 da. But then I need to check if not B should enable. So if this is false, then B can wall slide equals false. I'm not sure if, like, disabling the collision will actually sort of affect, like, overlap events. That's actually a good point. I should actually check that. So if I check the end overlap, yeah. It's like how in healthcare, it's essentially used as a means to help, like, make decisions on treatment or allocation of resources and such. As an assistive thing, but not as a thing that replaces people entirely. Yeah, no. Honestly, like, in terms of creative input, it can get fucked. Like, it can get absolutely fucked. Like, I despise AI art, I despise AI music. Like, it's not even art. It's soulless. It lacks human, like, emotion and intervention. And it's so crazy that people who post, like, AI generated artworks think that, oh, I'm an artist, look at me. No, you're not. You're just a person typing words into a thing, and that thing steals things from other people. Exactly here. Why did I get... Oh, because the video's ended. I got jump scared by the PS2 sound. And that's not even touching on the existential threat from something smarter than us. Yeah, because here's the thing, like, if it's only leveraged as a means of, like, being used as a tool to help like make decisions in, like, the healthcare industry and such, like, that's okay. But if you're giving it too much power to essentially do way more than a human is capable of doing, then who's to say that it somehow just doesn't run amok? I know it's, like, straying into the realms of sci-fi and whatnot, but it feels like that type of stuff could be very real eventually, and that's scary. Right, so that one is done there. Then in the player controller, I don't have a stop action. So if I go up here, so protected, I'm pretty sure to make a companion method for, like, view function. It's real right now. Yeah. Yeah, but at the moment it's not capable enough. Who's to say that doesn't change in, like, the next year or two, or 5 years, or 10 years? Right, view function, void, player, stop, move. But yeah, no, AI in creative field, cringe. Very fucking cringe. It can get out. People who claim to be artists when they use AI, you're not an artist, you're just a person writing a prompt. You didn't put any hard work or effort into it. You're just writing a word, and that thing is stealing things from other people. I probably don't need this, but this is just... And all my coding and stuff, I just do either from my own head or just following tutorials that, you know, doing the classic follow tutorial. Oh yeah, I need to make an actual input action as well. Hi, Day. And that's on a good day when my head does tend to actually just properly work instead of just fizzling out and combusting. As I'm too broke to pay music. Oh, right. At some point, I do need to get back into practicing trying to make sound effects again. Because here's the thing. Like, even though it takes its time, I do enjoy the process of trying to make a sound effect. Even if some of the ones that I've made before haven't been, you know, haven't had the most impact or, like, weight behind them. Right, so player stop move. Da 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 da. Let me think. I know I don't have any music now. There's no point in me putting any more music on for like a short amount of time whilst I try and wrap this up. You function. We get another interface method in here. Void get. No, not void. It has to be a boolean. Never mind. And in the player controller... Wait, actually, I need to do it in here first. I've explained the base plot of my game, so to contrast that, it's way more laid-back 8-bit rock. I think that might... That sounds very nice. That sounds cool. And then with, like, the type of stuff I'm trying to make, it's like, wow, I have to factor in so many different styles and types of things, and, like, this thing should sound like this, and this thing should sound like that. Or does this help convey the right mood and the right place and stuff? Wait. Oh, wait, no, that's Virtual Void, not Virtual Ball. Oh, yeah, no, I couldn't make them force in line. Virtual Ball. Right, ball gets on ground implementation. So, return. Or slide check direction. Get collision enabled. That's not what I want. Equals E collision enabled. Yeah, I think this should work. Query in physics, because that's the one I'm looking for. So, oh yeah, also I actually have to create the bloody default sub-object. So if I go here, create default sub-object, box component, text. As for the people that don't know, the game is a dark fantasy where you follow a group of people trying to save a town as no hero wants to, and the only way you're able to do that is with one of the character's powers to go back in time so you can die, and die again in order to help others that would just say it was a hero and not... The thankless work, that's... It's like, wow, these people did it, not these people. Set up attachment root component. So that's actually there. So now if I go into player controller, right, so if get does implement interface, and at the end, if underscore get more slide check enabled. Oh, get pawn. So if this is true, then execute player enable wall slide check true. Oh wait, get pawn and then true. And then in player stop move, I want to say if first things first, I do want to do get does implement interface. So return. So if it doesn't, then return. Then right. So that part is done. So now I go into player character. I haven't sorted out the things for the wall jump itself. Wall jump. Times B wall sliding. So if it is wall sliding, then the what's it called? What did I call it again? Sliding wall jump modifier, yep. Otherwise, just by 1.f. Okay, I made this way more confusing. Float. Right. Whew, that's all of that. It does kind of sound empty without the music now that I think about it. I should have put maybe a little bit on for the last, like, 20 minutes, half hour or so. Just got to give it a moment. Shouldn't take too long. Hmm. Right. That should be sorted. Where's the engine? There's the engine. So if we go into the wrap player, where is the wall slide direction checkbox? It is right here. Now this should work. I hope. Sliding. Wait. I'll say a 1.5 multiplier just for the time being, just to test it. Right. So if we go here. Okay, that didn't work. That's not happening. So I have no idea what's going on. I don't even know if that thing's working. Right, so quickly go into the player controller. Oh yeah, that doesn't exist. I need to actually create an input action for it. The player moves. UE underscore log. Yep, also check. Yeah. And then Yeah, that's the one, right. And if I can't get it done this time, then I will try and get it done in my own spare time. Right. Okay. Okay, that's just not happening. Right. Okay. I've definitely done something wrong here. Oh, wait, that's why it's because I have it set to if not... I'm not checking if it's false. Okay, my mistake. I'm surprised I didn't catch that sooner. To be fair, it's always the smallest things that you just kind of don't notice, and then it's like, oh, wait, I feel stupid. Right. This should work now, I hope. So if we move... Okay, so it's not... Oh yeah, that's because I don't have it, like, an actual... I keep thinking, oh, why isn't this working? And then I realize, well, there's no actual stop movement input event. I mean, so it's an input. So input action IA underscore. So axis 2D, vector 2D. So then in the IMC, the input mapping context, if I look at player stop attack, and the trigger is released. Right. Released. So released, And then one more. Released. I'll sort out the controller bindings eventually. I'm just sorting this out now just so I can make sure it works. So blueprints, player controller, and then IA, stop move. Okay, I don't think it's working. Right. I'm going to leave that there because it's 11:30. I'm wanting to chill for the rest of the evening. I'll probably try and fix that in my own spare time. So part of it's working, and the other half of disabling the check is not working. So I'll sort that out in my own spare time, and I'll get back to you with that. But to everyone who showed up, and to everyone watching things back on the VOD, whether it's here on Twitch or on YouTube, depending on when you're watching this, thank you ever so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Next stream will, of course, be next Sunday. It'll be Game Dev once again. This should be sorted by then. And then we can move on with sort of making other adjustments and tweaks and all that. And trying to figure out where else we should be going with this. Now that we've got, the big issue of, conveying information all sorted out. But yes, thank you ever so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you all again.